By taking on Theo Edmonds' challenge of cultural inclusivity, Team Ursa's message is one rooted in promoting community. We took measures to encourage trust, hope, and belonging and provided a space for students to engage in a community and have their voices heard. We wanted them to, in the words of Theo Edmonds, not only have a place at the table, but feel welcome to it.
Our school survey indicated to us that 25% of students at Ballard do not feel included. There is also an increased observed hesitation to participate. Underclassmen stated a feeling of intimidation in signing up for activities, while upperclassmen felt unwilling and unmotivated to. Both groups shared that there's a lack of readily available information about clubs and activities.
In response, we have executed a variety of solutions centering around clubs and extracurricular activities, knowing that finding people that share one's interests makes them feel more validated, seen, and appreciated. If students can form relationships with each other outside of school, it will hopefully aid in making them feel similarly during school hours.
Team Ursa formed both an official Snapchat and Instagram page for Ballard High School. This motion was done to have a singular place for students to look in order to find what they need regarding clubs and activities.
But the pages do not just provide information. Social media is the most efficient way to connect with the current world, with some pages collecting followings that are millions of people strong. We wanted our pages to create a community. Students have the opportunity to interact with each other and with the school, tightening the relationship between them and building comfortability and trust. But this formation of trust and relationships doesn't end virtually.
Team Ursa also formed the Interclub Council. The council has an all-inclusive nature, desiring to supply representation of people of all grades, genders, and races. It works to provide a space for the representatives of clubs or organizations to speak and can be heard. Students can discuss anything from creation and formation of events to any present issues within the school that may be bothering them. We wanted to create an unprecedented space for the leaders of clubs to interact with each other.
Despite development of bonds within clubs, there is oftentimes a lack of communication and relationships between different organizations themselves. The first Interclub Council meeting that we put on was done with the goal of putting on a school-wide event. After sharing out ideas, the representatives decided to call the student body to action through a club-based Spirit Week.
Each touched on a specific type of club, bringing awareness to those activities, and called on students to involve themselves in the Ballard community, strengthening connections between peers and with Ballard itself. After each day, pictures of people who participated were posted over the Ballard Instagram to further promote the week.
The promotion of our message was not solely focused through social media. We have also put up a bulletin board that spans one of the busiest hallways within the school. It displays different organizations that are available along with their details and attempts to educate and communicate with the student body.
We have successfully managed to reach over 1,000 students through our social media outlets alone. This is half the population of Ballard and double our original goal. The Interclub Council has effectively been established, and our 2 meetings resulted in the growth of inclusion and showcases how much the school values student opinion.
The team's solutions to promote cultural well-being will not end with the Aspen Challenge. The majority of Team Ursa's projects have incredible long-term value along with different planned actions for the future.
The Interclub Council is expected to not only last for the rest of the year, but well into the future. It will be a permanent opportunity for students to speak their minds and make direct changes to Ballard.
The social media pages will also continue, giving consistent information that allows students to actively participate in the community. We will also be providing a way for students to send in photos to the yearbook next year in order to promote proper representation and connection between school and students.
Along with this, we are adding onto the current official class scheduling sheets with a list of clubs and activities for students to automatically enroll in. It will provide a space for incoming freshmen to become involved with the Ballard community whilst avoiding possible intimidation or confusion.
The measures that our team has taken to attempt to completely alter the culture of our school. We crave change, we crave improvement, and we crave progression. This will be accomplished through hard work and dedication, but also through the support of others. Though we are the ones presenting these steps, they are really done for and by the Ballard community.
The growth of mutualism and supporting one another in our individual projects will help grow the tightness of our community. It is this slow and gradual movement that will truly result in a shift in the culture at Ballard in the years to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Awesome job, guys. That was amazing. We're just pulling up the judges again, so just give us 1 second and they'll fire away.
Excellent job, excellent job.
And judges, if you guys can turn on your cameras, that would be helpful.
All right, Ballard, are you ready for some of these questions from the judges?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Oh, we got the hands already. Hang on. Okay, let's go with Judge Lorna. Has a question.
Good morning, everybody. Great job. I love what you're doing. You obviously worked really hard on it and it shows. So congratulations to you. As I was listening to your presentation, it reminded me one of my favorite professors in college always used to say that the opposite of depression is participation. And I think that's something that you are really demonstrating by including activity within your school. You may have talked about it, but maybe you could remind me. You talked a lot about what you're doing, but I'm wondering how you're measuring the effectiveness of your Instagram, your bulletin boards, your interclub council. Are you keeping track or monitoring the success of your project to see how effective your effort is?
I can answer this one. We basically counted up how many followers we had, and by the time of like the 3rd week or so, we were up in like the 500s for the followers, and we like had rapid views and stuff like that. And me being also a part of the Ballard Black Student Union, we sent in these things for the Spirit Week for us, and it was really effective because we saw a lot of people participating with that. So that was the ability for us to track the social media.
And at the same time, we got a lot of student interaction because before we kind of started our interclub council meeting, we set up a whole survey for students to take at the lunchroom so they can choose what clubs that they'd like to give us more insight on what students might be like.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, we got a question from Judge Josh Miller, all the way from Louisville, Kentucky.
Hey, everybody. Great presentation, really good information. Early on, you talked about some survey questions I believe were specific to belonging. You also mentioned hope, trust, and belonging. So I'm wondering if the survey that you did measured all 3 of those, and kind of getting back to Lorna's question, how are you thinking about measuring belonging or all 3 of those and kind of the broader idea of inclusion as you look at the impact of your efforts with the intercultural club and kind of within the school?
Well, when it comes to belonging specifically, we want to make sure that every Ballard student knows that they have a club that possibly fits for them, whether if it's cultural or just something that they'd like to do. And when it comes to more of trust, we want to make sure that since kids are at school more than they're at home, we want to make sure that students actually have the will to go to school as if it's not a place where they feel like they're in danger.
And we all measured that through all of our cafeteria time surveys, and that's how we really got the information, because we set up a bunch of laptops with different questions about belonging and how you feel in the Ballard community, and that's really how we got all of our information about how the general feels about Ballard's community.
And along with that, we also instituted a survey from Theo Edmonds himself that he introduced to us. It was a hope survey to kind of try and measure that. We weren't able to fully get the best picture because kind of as our results were coming in, it was kind of when all of this hit, and we couldn't really see the full impact that we wanted to, just because we didn't get a lot of responses based off of all of this. But it definitely helped us measure that kind of feeling and how people thought and how people felt. And he kind of introduced this idea to us because we had a meeting with him in the first few weeks of the project. He came to Ballard and we all kind of collaborated with him, and he kind of introduced this idea to us that our shirts are based off of and our message is based off of building trust and building community, and will then result in building hope will then result in the feeling of belonging. And it's kind of the combination of those things that we were trying to build through our efforts that will then result in the feeling of belonging within our school.
Thank you all. Very helpful.
All right, Judge Hannah Drake has a question for Ballard.
Hi, everyone. You all did a wonderful job and had a wonderful presentation. I will say my daughter is a graduate of Ballard. Yeah, snapped it up. I loved the idea of the inter-club council. I've never seen that before, so I thought that was very neat. I did want to ask, my daughter at the time was bused into Ballard, and we lived downtown. And so I wondered what the after school and extracurricular activities, have you all considered kids who don't have transportation to attend some of the after school activities and how that would impact their sense of belonging?
Yes, we have, because the entire thing where we had that mental health awareness week and the spirit week and stuff, we had the mental health during school, during the lunches. So it wouldn't be considered as a problem for transportation. And it's like open to anyone who can come in and want to get to know their mental health better. And so it was during first, second, and third lunch. And so we weren't really worried about the transportation with that because it's during school and you can go during your lunchtime. And possibly in the future, we will consider the transportation for after school activities. But we were, since we did it during school, it wasn't really a problem.
And part of the interclub council, because centered around at least part of it creating these school-wide events like the Spirit Week, it is possible to engage people that might not be able to attend outside of school within the school and kind of transferring that relationship that through extracurricular activities within school. So that interclub council kind of creative that might be for people that might not be able to do so otherwise.
All right, judges. Any other questions for Ballard? Oh, Judge Lorna.
You all seem to be a team that works together really well, and I'm getting that vibe even from seeing you on a screen. Is that true, or is it a good act this morning?
It's true. So we generally met like every other day. And so since there's like a lot of clubs and like we're part of clubs too, so we had like a 2-day type. So we had people who could meet in the morning, come in the morning, and people could meet in the afternoon, come. And then we both like share our ideas together. And overall, that's how we came up with this.
Awesome.
And like, I'll add on to that. While we had, because I myself was a really busy person at the time before this whole Corona thing started. Like, I'm president of BSU. I was in the musical for school, and I wasn't really there most of the time, but they did include me through group chats, and we would text often. And Katie and Izzy, thank you for them. Like, they let me in on everything that I needed to know and that I needed to do. So we divvied out jobs for specifics on what we could and couldn't do. And so that's what I really enjoyed the most about this group. And also like the communication, because communication is probably one of the most important things dealing with a team and stuff like that. So that's what I liked most about being a part of this whole thing.
Great. Thank you, Michaela.
All right, we got a question. I think this may be the last question. Is coming from Judge Rochelle Hamilton.
Hey guys, mine's going to be an easy question. Would you explain your logo and your name, your team name?
Okay,
Izzy, that's you.
Yep, that's all me. Yeah. So me and my team, we came up with it at a Starbucks actually, but so we were thinking of logo names and we were trying to think of a logo that would come with our whole motto with the hope, trust, and belonging. And so Katie actually helped me with the idea. She said that the Ursa logo is it's a bear, so it's a constellation sky that's a bear. And so the bear also, like, as a constellation, like everybody can, all the stars connect together, and we're all the stars connecting together as one. And our mascot is the Ballard Bruin, so I thought it would just be perfect because our mascot's a bear and we're all trying to connect together. And there's our Team Ursa.
Wow. Excellent job, Ballard. Excellent job. Thank you very much. I think the judges are going to go deliberate in the innovation lab. Say adios.
Good job, Ballard. Good to see you.